Hi, welcome to Car Mechanical. Today I'm going to show you how to remove, repair and refit your Audi A4 glove box. This is going to be for the B6 and B7 range, and mine's going to be a 2003 Audi A4 Avant. So you can see the glove box hanging down there. Now we are going to take it out, but I'm going to do one thing first that I'll come back to later on in the video and it will make sense at that point. But we're going to put some dry lube on there. Now I use this with my 3D printer because of it doesn't leave much of a mess. And we need to free up the hinge because it's these stiff hinges that mean that the glove box hinges get broken and everyone ends up replacing them, or you end up buying these 99p eBay kits. You drill into the front, you get a massive metal bracket on the front. We don't want to go for that. So we're going to remove the glove box. Now these are 8mm and we've got 3 bolts we need to undo at the top and 2 underneath. So I'm going to undo these 3 bolts and then we've got 2 underneath the glove box to do as well. So I'm just going to point out the locations for you now. So one's all the way over the left and the other one on the right. Obviously reverse that if you are in a right hand drive model, but you know, they're in the corners basically. So we're going to take these 8mm out and then that's going to allow the glove box just to pull forwards in a minute. And then when we do pull it forward, just put all of the bolts to one side. Then as we pull the glove box forward, we've got one more thing to take out, or to disconnect even, and that's the light connector at the back. So you'll just need a little screwdriver or just something to release it. You can do this with your fingers actually. A bit harder with one hand as I'm filming, but I'm going to take that off. We can take the glove box out. So we're moving over to my garage and you can see this is where the hinges broke. Now I said we'd come back to the bit I lubed. What can happen is that the hinge gets really tight and that excessive force gets applied and it snaps. So in this case it's a clean break. So to make the repair I'm going to use a 2-part epoxy, and the reason I've taken the glove box out, it's a lot cleaner than potentially glue dripping all over the car, and I can fix things to get it nice and firm. So we're going to use some resin and some hardener. I'm literally using cheap 2-part epoxy. I think I get 5 sets of this for £1 at a pound shop. You can use nicer stuff if you want, it might give a better finish, but this is going to do the job for me. So I'm mixing it up. And I'm laying it on really thick, and the thinking here is that I can sand it down after if I'm not too happy, but I want it to get the bond. So the epoxy says that it should be good to use within an hour. I actually put this all on, I hold it together to set and I leave it for 24 hours. I'm not happy that within sort of 20 minutes to an hour time that it's going to be fully cured. So it is a little bit stringy as you use it and there's a little bit of mess, but you can trim all of that off afterwards. So all I'm just doing here, I actually hold it for about 5 minutes whilst the epoxy sets. It's hard to get the glove box set up at a point where everything meets up and stays where it is when you walk away. But this is taken the next day and we can see it's working, but we can see it's still a little bit stiff. Now part of that's not helped by the way I'm holding the glove box, but just to deal with it and just to come back to this part of lube, this piston that you saw me add some bike chain lube to earlier, and I've said to use some light oil or some grease. What can happen with these is these get quite stiff, and it was stiff on mine. Now what I don't know is if someone didn't know how far the glove box was meant to open and yanked it too far in the past, or this got so stiff that it seized in place and just snapped. So I'm just sort of going a bit over the top whilst I've got access to everything just to make sure it's nice and loose, so I'm not going to see that issue in the immediate future. So we're going to refit the glove box now, and we're going to refit the connector, or reconnect the connector for the light inside, and we're going to push the glove box back into place. Now if you have got someone else this helps a bit more, but I'm just going to put one of the bolts back into place to sort of hold the glove box roughly where we want, and then we can start putting the rest of them and we can get everything nice and lined up and make sure it fits as it should do. So we've got the 2 underneath, so you can see just coming up through the side there, that one was going in. I'm going to do the furthest most out one from the top. We're going to do the one on the other side and then the other one underneath. And then aside from putting the side panel back onto the glove box, not the glove box but the car trim itself, we're done. So this is actually a really nice quick fix. I think it looks a lot nicer than if you were to go and buy one of the repair kits off eBay, which you just screw into place, but it's really obvious. When you look at the hinge itself, you can see the epoxy, you can maybe sand it down, and you can do something to help blend it in, but this is a really unobvious repair compared to the hinge kits you can get out there. Okay, that's it for this video guys. Thank you very much for watching. I hope this video has been useful for you. If you think it would be useful for anyone else, please remember to share the video. If you're interested in more videos that are coming out on the channel, please hit the subscribe button. And more than anything, thank you for watching.